Alright, Homesteader family, welcome to this edition of the Sunday Monday vlog. Welcome to the new year. Welcome back to the journey. Thank you for being a part of the journey. And don't forget to share the journey. So, this is the little bit of space I get in my queen size bed with these monsters of a dog. We got Mr. Chubbs here. Got Mr. Max right here. Got Mickey Mouse laying right here. And Minnie Mouse is down on the ground for right now. And Mickey don't like being stepped on. And Chubbs doesn't pay attention. Relax, you guys. So, it is that time of year. We are slowly going to be working our way out of winter. And because we're working our way out of winter, I went ahead, I dusted all the animals down today. Dusted down the coop area. Dusted down the straw inside the shipping containers, and put a bunch of diatomaceous earth on the ground. And that's what I used, diatomaceous earth. For those of you that have not watched me take care of the animals before, I do not give my animals dewormer. I don't give my animals shots. And as everybody has seen, my animals are healthy. They do good. Had a couple close calls here and there with eating too much grain and bloating. But I had that pretty much under control. And for those of you that haven't watched the channel, besides the diatomaceous earth, I dust everything once a month. I put in their feed troughs. I dust the animal coats. But I don't do it during the winter. Because wintertime, everything's frozen. So if there was worms or anything like that, I wouldn't have that issue. Get down, Chubbs. Go. Stop aggravating. So, summertime, spring, summer, and fall is when I do the diatomaceous earth. And then year-round, the animals eat pine needles. And over the years, you've seen me when I cut down trees or trim up branches, I put all the boughs of pine in the pen. And now, of course, the whole property's fenced so the animals can go out to the other trees. But pine needles are a natural dewormer. Bless you. And with that, I've never had worm issues. Only issues I've had are the puppies when puppies are born. But it's like 98% of puppies are born with roundworms. Of course, I've got a gel form that I give the animals. Hey, we're not fighting right now. You hear me? Hey, you hear me? I'll bless your butts, bugs. You always gotta fight while I'm filming, right? Yep. So everybody just gets to see you guys be grumpy all the time. Hey. Hey. No grumpiness. Go. Get down. Go. You get down too now. Well, that's the dogs for you. Mickey Mouse don't like being stepped on. And Max likes to do it like Chubbs, right? Yeah. You knock it off, you. So this year, we've had a lot of stuff happen last year in 2019. This year has kind of started off with a thump, or thud, I should say, because the thud sounds more negative. And I didn't want to say anything on the last Sunday Monday vlog because it was going into New Year's, and I wanted to be positive for New Year's. This week I haven't got a lot of stuff done. I got the hay finished being moved from where I had it unloaded, and that's pretty much it. I've been taking the dogs and the goats for walks across the whole property so the dogs can keep marking their territory, marking the fences. They like to pee on the hay bales, which I feel sorry for the animals because they eat the hay. But the dogs like to mark the hay bales. And then, of course, it gets the goats out, going out. Casper, the white alpaca, yesterday was the first day he decided to finally start roaming. Not too far past the fence, but he's starting to space out. The camels, I had to go out look a couple different days. They like to go over other side, and when they're sat down, they're like a hump, and if I get home late like I did the other day, I drove right past them. They looked just like bushes in the dark, and couldn't find the camels. Come back, and then they were standing right there at the road. So that's how I knew where they were. And everybody's doing good. All the animals are doing good. But like I was saying, this year's kind of, last year ended kind of with a thud. This year started with a new thud. So the day before New Year's, I get a phone call from code enforcement. So we all know I've dealt with the sheriffs, code enforcement, animal control, you name it, I've dealt with them starting this whole thing going. And so code enforcement called, left me a message. Of course, I don't have cell phone reception here. So I can listen to voicemails and I can look at text messages if it's on my 7447 number. And they said, we've sent you a letter. We're trying to get in contact with you. You need to either come in or call us back as soon as possible. So, of course, there was a letter in my P.O. box, but since I haven't gone to town and checked it all the time, that's Chubbs moving the tripod. But since I don't check the P.O. box all the time, of course, they sent the letter like December 20th or something like that, right before Christmas. So, of course, I went down prior to Christmas, but didn't check the box again until the new year. So I decide, instead of going up on the mountain trying to call, I'll just wake up on the 3rd, I believe, and just drive to town on that Thursday and go talk to code enforcement. So code enforcement tells me, you don't have the building permit. In order for the abatement agreement that I signed, in order to be able to stay here in my camper trailer on my land, I had to get the building permit and agree to leave my camper trailer as soon as the house is built. Well, the problem is, when I hired that contractor to build my house, he was supposed to pull the permits. He told me he was already getting all that started. And then, of course, he took my $30,000, and that was that. So I explained all that to them, and they said, well, by our law, we can't do that unless there's something you can show. So I had a septic permit, so they were going to tie it to the septic permit. Well, my septic permit expired December 3rd. While the builder had his equipment out here, he was going to dig the trenches for the septic so I could install the septic. So, of course, I didn't get the septic in. So my septic permit expired, which was like $395 or something like that. So I said, I've been working with you guys. I've done everything I possibly can. I've got all my animals out here. I really need to be here at the ranch so I can take care of everybody. And of course, I don't want to have to rent somewhere because nobody wants 4 of these gigantic dogs inside a rental place. So they said, only way they can work with me is if I renew the septic permit that day, and I need engineering plans for my foundation and engineering plans for my roof. I had the house drawing, I had everything else, and I'm like, well, I can't get the engineering done. I'm not the builder. So they explained to me, I can do it. Just go to an engineering place. So I went ahead. I renewed my septic permit. So that cost me, I think, like $48 to renew my septic permit for another 12 months, which, like I had in my goals, I had planned to get a excavator run it again this year to get that done, and a couple other projects. So hopefully I can get the septic in, like my goal says. And they gave me a list of engineers. So I went to one place in Canyon City. They're no longer in business. So called another number. No voicemail, no nothing. Says number is no longer valid. So then I call a third place. Guy tells me he'll call me back in a few hours. I was in Canyon, so I did my laundry, did grocery shopping, went to Tractor Supply, did all my different errands, picked up a couple boxes of beef bones at the butcher for the dogs, and never heard back from the guy. So I get home, and about seven, actually like six or 7 o'clock that night, I get an email from him, and he says, you know, he was busy all day. If I have plans, soil tests, all that type of stuff that he needs to do the engineering plan, to send that over. So I went ahead, sent all that over. He told me it's going to be $1,900 for the plans and all the stamped paperwork that the county needs in order to file my building permit. And I should have that by this upcoming Friday, if not the following week. So it's really good. You know, this guy seems really nice. He's going to get right on it. So the short of the long story is I can stay here at the ranch because I've done what the county needs for now. And also, while I was there, the county tells me, the one code enforcement officer, he lives up just past me on Highway 50, still about 18-20 miles from me. But he said he knows about the contractor issues and all that stuff up here. And he said, why don't I build my own house? And I said, well, it's a lot of concrete work. I don't know about the concrete. So he said, you know, I should try the styrofoam Lego blocks, ICF blocks. So the fencer that did the fencing here, he gave me a couple numbers to Amish kind of guys that do concrete. So I'm going to call them this week, try to get them on the schedule now that the road's passable, to come up here and give me some quote, because that's what they do, is concrete foundations and all that. And I'm going to see what it would cost for them to do the whole thing. If not, I might just have them do the footer, knock it off. And then I'll go ahead, buy the ICFs, build the walls myself, get the concrete trucks, and do all that. So the good news for 2020 is the county's going to let me build my own house if I want to. So if I can get the concrete done, that'd be good, because one of my YouTube subscribers that moved over where I used to live from Indiana, him and his brothers are supposed to help me build the house this year. He said they just don't really do concrete. So if I can at least get the concrete done by the Amish guys, then hopefully I can help them and get the house built or something like that. So it looks like I hopefully will have a house. Worst case scenario, I'll have to do everything myself, and I'll be pushing myself all year on the house and not get other projects done. But we'll see what happens. So I've got some footage for you guys, and I'll see you on the next Sunday Monday vlog. Enjoy your week. And one last thing, for those of you that haven't watched, or those that you watched last week, if you can, once again, go down below in the info box and go to my website, homesteader.today, and just click on a couple pages just so Google gets a hold of my website, and so it starts popping up closer when people try to find it. That would be an extremely big help to me. So I appreciate it. Take care. See you next week. All right, Max likes his licorice, and watch how he eats it. Well, normally he grabs it with both of his paws and takes small little bites. Still took a small little bite, just didn't put it in his paws like he normally does. Well, Mr. Max is a good man. Just laying in bed eating some black licorice and watching a movie. Alright, so I just got done dusting down all the animals with diatomaceous earth. That's what all the white stuff is on the ground. Of course, there's snow on the ground too. And then I made a couple piles over here for the birds to roll in and flop around in. And went ahead and put it in the troughs, the chicken coop, and everything else. So, enjoy. And inside of chicken coops, you want to make sure you always dust down all the wood, because for those of you that don't know, mites and all the different bugs for chickens can survive on wood. So that's why my nesting boxes are made out of plastic buckets, and why I dust all the wood off. And we got some happy donkeys rolling around.